Hey, welcome to the shop. Are you ready to be inspired? I sure hope so. This project is pretty simple, but there's some details that you're not going to want to miss. The video is packed with information, full of humor. I think you're really going to enjoy it, and we would really love to hear your comments on the video. The Hinkle Shop's been keeping a secret since Workbench 2024. Keep watching to find out what that secret is. There's some clamps that I make myself, and I typically run into them with a bit, as you can see right there, and ruin them and have to print more. That's why it's good to have plastic. Here we're going to use the double-sided tape to stick this thing down. And there's a very good reason why I'm using the double-sided tape, because at Workbench, there was a nice vendor there that was giving them away. Lots and lots of rolls of tape. So I thought, why not use them up here? Going to zero off the corner in this case. And we're going to zero out the machine once we have it in the corner. Now, I didn't say this in the beginning, but we're going to end up with 5 versions of this thing in the end. You can use a touch block or paper method, whichever you prefer. And here we're going to write a little poem that one should always adhere to. Of course, my buddy needs some attention when he's in the shop. And he steps through my legs like that and will not let me get off of them when he does it. When I'm running the CNC, I never make a mistake. I always work to perfection. And you'll see that a little later on in the video, how perfect I run the machine. Here we're switching to a down cut. That's a downtown Jenny, by the way. And again, we're going to use the touch probe so that we don't ruin this piece of wood, because, as I said, I never make a mistake when I'm carving. I always carve exactly as I'm supposed to. Now, if you look what that reads on that board, you may see a mistake, but that was intentional. I did that on purpose. Even crappy old plywood can make something nice. So do yourself a favor and don't peel your double-sided tape off if you're going to take a router and go around the outside of your project. Leave it on. Stick it to your bench. Then when you run your router, if you can get it to stick, because it's all sawdust, you'll be able to run your router and it'll be more stable. Look, Ma, no hands. And one more thing, once you get one of these guys loose, don't just take it off and throw it away. Use it to peel the next one. It works much easier off than trying to get your fingernail underneath them. If you could look away for just a few moments, you wouldn't notice that I didn't make a mistake here. Dang it! I'm sure that no one noticed in that last clip what happened. Perfection. Just plain perfection. As it turns out, someone noticed. And do yourself a favor and get yourself some of these cheap Lazy Susans from Amazon. Put them in the middle of a board. Get yourself some of these standoffs from the old Emu. And make your life a whole lot easier when you're doing this. And here comes the magic right there. The ability to turn that thing without getting your hands covered in anything you're spraying. All right, everybody, let's talk about secrets and woodworking. So as most of you know, we went to Workbench 2024 this year, and we met some interesting people there. Every year we go, we meet some interesting people. We met Jay from Jay Photonics Lasers. As you know, he gave us a laser. Thanks, Jay. But we also met another very interesting individual named Hamilton Dilbeck. Now, for those of you that don't know, Hamilton is the creator of a little organization called CNC with Me. So we were honored that Hamilton approached us and actually asked us to contribute to become teachers for CNC with Me. So that's the secret, that he's actually invited us, and we, as our honor, we have accepted this, so that we're going to start creating some videos for his program. We're going to offer you some discounts. We'll offer a discount code in the description below that you can use to get some money off on your membership. Now, when people hear membership, they start thinking, oh my God, it's a sellout, it's this, that, or any number of things. Let me tell you this. I did our due diligence. I did our homework on this before I accepted this. What CNC with Me is offering is incredible. It's not just files and projects. It's community. It's help desks. It's support. live sessions with Hamilton, live sessions with the other creators. There's a couple of other individuals that are going to be involved in this very soon. I'm not going to divulge their names yet, but when they are, I'm absolutely going to promote their channels. We're going to say, go see them, and hopefully you'll come back here and see us, because we are so excited to be a part of this CNC with me journey that Hamilton has allowed us to enter into and be a part of with him. It's an incredible thing. I encourage you to go to the CNC with me website and check it out. And having said that, let's talk about these projects that we made here. Now, we did 5 versions of this. What is it called?
A beer caddy.
Wall-hung bottle opener. Yeah, wall-hung bottle opener. So I'm going to have my lovely assistant hold them up.
Soda.
And soda. And I will explain of different things about these that you really need to know if you're going to make them. So to begin with, the stock size is 18 inches by 8. And this one here we did in simple plywood to show you that it's a simple, you don't have to go buy the most elaborate material to do this with. You can do it in simple plywood. You could do it in birch plywood. This is just off the shelf big box store plywood that we cut, and it actually came out nice. Now, Lisa did the painting on this, and let me grab the paint. So the paint she used is this. We're not affiliated with these at all, but it's an acrylic. We always use acrylic when we're filling in V-bit carvings because the acrylic doesn't seep as badly into the wood. In fact, you can see that it hasn't seeped into the wood at all. So we're in good shape there. I highly recommend acrylic. It doesn't have to be this brand, but I would use acrylic to fill those in with. Now the next one we did, we're actually going to keep this one. These things are highly saleable at garage sales, yard sales, craft fairs, all these types of events. I wouldn't be afraid of putting $25, $30 on this thing, maybe as high as $35. This one's got a fancy bear on it. We're going to keep this one in our house. This is cedar. Lisa chose not to paint this one. These things are tin. Obviously, they're a bottle cap catcher. They can be held down multiple ways on your CNC. In the files, we're going to put tabs in. Now, when you saw me running it, I didn't have tabs. We're going to put tabs in on this project just for safety, and that way you can use clamps if you like, but I would definitely increase the stock size if you use clamps. You may run into them if you don't. You can use a touch probe, or you can use the paper method. You can use the V-bit in the corner method like you saw me use to locate the origin of the corner. If you want the most accuracy that you can get, use an end mill and your touch probe to do all 4 sides, not 4 sides, the corner, and then your Z height. In this case, I didn't feel it necessary, but if you want the most accuracy you can get, then I would highly recommend you do that. The other way you can hold these down is the way that I did with 2-sided tape, and then there's a third way, which is blue tape and CA glue. All of those things work very well. Now, on this one here, now remember what I said in the beginning, I don't make mistakes. And if you look right there, that's really not a mistake. That's a misspelling, let's call it that. So the reason for this one, without the tin, is because I wanted to point out these holes that are in this board. You've got 2 up here when you carve it, and those down there. That is exactly what they're for, to locate the hooks and to locate the beer bottle. I shouldn't say beer bottle because it could be any bottle. Bottle opener on the top. And I didn't want to have to mess around and try to figure that out with a tape measure. Now, you certainly could. And if you choose not to put the catcher on the bottom, you'll be able to eliminate the points on here and get rid of these 2 and still put your key hooks in here. One more point, this thing is just ripe for advertising, for companies, for your home, for your business. You won't have to necessarily put this thing in here that we put in. You could put anything you wanted in here. If you had, yeah, you could put your own name, your family name. These are great Christmas gifts. You could use a laser on this if you happen to have a laser. We do. We obviously, JTech laser we use, but we chose to do this with a V-carve bit, which brings me to another point about CNC with me. Anything that we produce with CNC with me is done with 3 bits and 3 bits only. We use a 1/4 inch down cut, a 60-degree V-bit, or a 1/2 inch bull bit, all from Jenny Bits, Cadence Bits. And those are the only 3 we use because we want to keep this as simple as possible and make projects that you guys can make out there, you guys and gals, without having to change 1,000 bits and stock up on 1,000 bits. So 3 bits CNC with me, just remember that. Now, as far as everything that we have here, I'm going to put links in the description below. All of these bottle openers, the ones we used, the catchers and stuff, and the hooks, everything will be in the description below. I'll put links in the bottom. Now, finishing options. You could finish these any way that you like. You could use Halcyon. You could use regular polyurethane, water-based polyurethane, anything. You could use oil. It doesn't matter. You can use whatever you like on these. Now, I will say that I choose to use a product that is a spray-on product just because it's a V-carve. I want the finish to get down inside the inside these grooves and stuff. Easiest way to do that is to spray it in. And I use Hellman's spar urethane. It's from Minwax. We're not sponsored by them. I just have had so much luck with these that I use it more often than not. It's an indoor-outdoor finish. And if I have one go-to, I would say it's that one. Now, there's another thing, hanging these on the wall. And I'll be honest with you, I've got some notes underneath the camera that I'm reading. So don't think I remembered all this stuff because you know me better than that. The way we can hang these things is, we don't need to throw them back, with a standard picture frame holder, which I can show you one of those. It's these metal guys right here. I hope you can see that. Let's put it in my hand. How can I show you this easier? It would be like that on the back. You can do a T-slot in the back if you have your router and you want to put a T-slot in the back of them. The way that I would hang them personally is I would take them to the wall, and before I put this on and your catcher on, I would drill a hole right through the front of this, and I would mount it with a screw directly to a stud. And I would put the screw here, and that way the tin will cover up both screws and you'll never see them. Again, these things, you could finish them in any way you wanted. You can paint them, you can choose not to paint them, you can laser them. Any way you cut it, they're a great little project that you can use on your wall. Now, I want to thank you for watching. Remember, you don't have to CNC alone. You can CNC with me. And I'll catch you on the next one.